Hi, my name's Steven and today I'm going to be showing you me making a neck protector for an axe. I believe this is the name. I think it has a couple of names, but it's just this section of the axe here. First thing that I did was find a template that I quite like. This is from Helco Works. I cut it out, as you can see I cut it out to see if would fit right, to get the sizing right, because as I printed it out it wasn't the right size, so I put it into Photoshop to get closer to the actual size. As you can see, it's pretty close. You want a bit of a gap, so when you're threading it up you still have some room, and on this it folds over, so I might need to make some adjustments, which is kind of why I have this, so then I can make some notes to make sure I get everything right. But yeah, let's just make it. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I found my piece of leather that I'm going to use, and I'm going to trace around this, which is the one I've chopped out, and try and keep as much material spare as possible. Right, and now it's just a case of cutting it out. I have this because I got a set, I'm not sure what it's called, but it works really, really well. So I'm going to go along the line. Right, so as you can see, I've got the really basic shape. I've tested it with paper, but obviously it's going to be different with leather, so I'm just going to do a quick check and see if it's anything like. Yeah, so it's pretty much the same. It'll be a bit over on here again, a bit too close, but I'm going to tidy it up anyway and get it so it looks exactly like the photo. So I'll be back once that's done. Okay, so I have tidied it up. Kind of nice now. But when I put it up, there's a couple of things that I don't like, so I'm going to change them. Being that it still touches, and I need to allow that there'll be a bit of space for the leather string that I'm going to make. Also, this doesn't sit right. It has this little notch, but because a lot of axes, they just kind of have a little dip in them. But this doesn't work with this one. So I think what I'm going to do is taper it out until it fits a lot more perfectly with this, so it's kind of flush and in line with it, because I think that'll look a lot better. So I'm going to do that and then I'll be back. Yeah, so just kind of work it out, maybe do a little bit of drawing on it to work it out, and just take it from here, taking like maybe a mil off at a time and tapering it out, so then it works. And then once I'm happy with it, I'm gonna do some measurements on the sheet and get all the right measurements. Then when I put the holes on, it will be the same, kind of. Right, so I've done it again, just taking bits off. As you can see, it has a lot more of a smoother and tighter fit to it, and I sorted the problem with it coming too tight. So it'll be nice and tight, but it still has room for everything to go, all the string to come underneath it. So now it comes to putting in the holes. I only took off 2 mil off either side, so when it comes to putting in the holes, it's not actually going to make any difference. So what I'm going to do is, I've already found the biggest hole punch that I can, and it's pretty close. It's not exact, but if we're talking as close as possible, this is pretty close. I think I'm going to cut out the holes first. Originally I was going to just stamp it, just stamp it straight through the paper and the leather, but that only really works accurately if you are if you've glued it on, which I'm not going to do because that will potentially damage the leather. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the holes out and draw circles around it, which you'll see. Right, so as you can see, I've cut out the holes and I've put this mat over. The reason I do that is, I don't know if you can see, but using this rubber mallet and the hole punch, it puts it in the mat and it's too deep for my liking. So what I'm going to do is just make sure there's no straggling bits of leather on there. Line it all up. I mean, it's not perfect and it is never going to be, but and then kind of just hold it down while I go around it. Just double check everything. This corner is good, so I'm going to work from this corner. And I don't know if that'll pick up on camera, but you can see where the lines are. I don't know if that's going to pick up on the camera. Yeah, and you can see at the bottom it's still pretty well done, so I'm not going to bother. I was thinking of changing them and moving them in 2mm, but I haven't bothered and it looks fine to me. The only thing I can do is trim up this, because looking at it again, there's little bits here and there. I think I will. So I'm just going to go over this again and make sure it's a nice proper cut. So yeah, I'll do that and then I'll come back for stamping the holes. Okay, so I've tidied it up a bit more and I'm very happy with it now. So line each one of these up. This is a bit of a slow process. Is that all the way through? Yeah. And put it out. So there we go, one hole. This is going to be a long process, so it'll probably be time lapse. So just watch the time lapse, I guess. Yeah, and there we go, 18 holes. That's going to end up looking really nice from just the bending. Like you can see on the camera, the colour difference, the different fades. It's going to look really nice. Yeah, so now I have to make the string, and I have 2 pieces of leather, which I have as kind of samples. They look almost identical probably on camera. Maybe if I put them in the light you'll be able to see. This one just has a bit of a more red tan, and this is just more of a basic tan or a darker tan even. So I'm gonna have to pick between the two, and then I'm going to make some string out of them. It's quite a weird process, so I'm not going to make a video. I'm not going to do it in this video, but it's essentially cutting into a strip and then using different types of conditioners to kind of get it into a string-like form. So yeah, I'll make some string and then I'll come back and we'll lace it up and see how it goes. So yeah. So yeah, that's it. I think it looks really nice. It's kind of held the form really well. I might wet mold it, which is where you get it and mold it even tighter. So it's basically vacuum. It's basically a vacuum copy. It looks like it's just been vacuumed on there. But yeah, I didn't put a finish on it in the end, which is why it's just got a knot at the bottom and I've not done anything kind of decorative. I might end up finding a piece of longer leather. I couldn't find anything at the moment. This is 60 centimeters and I use scrap. But yeah, I think it looks really nice. All I have to do now is, well, this needs linseed oil on it, as I'm sure a lot of people are currently going, put linseed oil on it. It needs linseed oil, but hasn't been used that much, so it should be fine, but I'm going to do that anyway. But I couldn't find what kind of leather conditioning I can use, because linseed is supposed to rot this, so I don't know if anybody out there knows what a really good protective coat is. Then yeah, leave it in the comments, and yeah, I will see you in the next video. Please like, leave a comment if you know what kind of oil is the best for leather and wood. Please consider subscribing as well, it really helps out a lot, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.